going, everybody? It's Frito here for your Overwatch. This time, going to give you a guide breaking down how to initiate as Winston. One of the key components of his kit is dictating the pace of the battle. He has the most powerful movement ability in the game because he can jump leaps and bounds, pun intended, across the map and can effectively almost teleport where he wants to be. As the slow-moving Reinhardt Deathball try to move up at the front door, I initiated behind them to create contact so my team could sandwich them. It caused a bunch of chaos and a mosh pit for us to exploit. Then the Mercy on their team was able to revive the kills that we got, but I'm Winston, so I can just jump back in, chase them wherever they may be, continue the fight going, and as soon as we have man advantage in the fight, having Winston, who you might not think is either very skillful or can deal a lot of damage, just having that extra man advantage wherever you need it is the difference maker in making fights work. So now we can see that their team is split up. They have 3 players that are trying to take the balcony. They have other players poking on the outside. I know if we initiate right now and I jump in and become the tank enforcer for my team, that we can just win this fight by charging into them. That's one key thing about Overwatch, that there's a lot of skill and FPS talent there, but there's also just the simple timings of we have one more player than they do, let's force this fight. And movement abilities are very important to enforce that, whether we're talking about Lucio's speed boosts or a character like Winston that can propel himself wherever he wants to be. I find that Winston seems to be the most beneficial on complex maps like Hanamura here, where you can easily weave in and out of the battle whenever you want. So I see a chance to maybe go get the Mercy. She starts to fly away. I do some chip damage. I don't think it's worth my life to force myself into a 1v3 when my team are on the point. I'm doing enough harassing as it is. Let the enemy team push up a little bit and create a little bit more space, but then all of a sudden, boom, back on the Mercy again. Bye-bye, healer. Your most impact player on the team is now down, and I didn't even lose my life for it. But I would argue, if you're playing Winston and you're reliably trading your life for the meta healer, right now it's probably Zen, but back in the day it was Mercy, whichever character is the most important healer, if you at least trade out with them, you're probably getting a lot of value. And if you can get out with your life, then you're even propelling your team to be able to full hold on a defense. It is a bit of a meme in the community to make fun of Winston players or Winston as a role that he doesn't have a lot of skill, but I assure you there's a lot of skill hidden in Winston's kit. Because he can't do much damage, yes, he doesn't have to aim necessarily, but because he can't shoot his way out of a battle, he has to be good at movement, and you have to be able to use your leap and actually hit where you want to when you want to. When I see players coming up to the balcony, I initiate on them, split them, force them around, and dictate the battle how I want my team to be able to fight it and get away to tell the tale. That is the key to succeeding as Winston. Now we're going to go to another example over on Nubani, and I see my team pick 3 DPS, which generally speaking isn't so great. Hello. And if we wanted one tank, maybe it would be best to have Rhine. But at the same time, we have a Pharah and a Genji, which are very mobile characters, which Rhine wouldn't help anyway. So I decide that Zarya Winston initiation is really good, even if technically Rhine is the more meta pick for payload. So I pick Winston in order to initiate the fight for my team, because if there's a big monkey in their face, it's a lot harder for characters to focus down your DPSs like Pharah out of the sky. As good as Reinhardt is, he can't really protect Pharah. And as you go in and out of the battle, staying alive as long as you can, you want to be constantly poking with your leaps to find opportunities to exploit the squishy characters, either the DPS characters that can't fight you very well, like Widow, McCree, etc., or better yet, they're healers, because once the healers are down, your DPS will win almost de facto. Think of it this way. Man advantage with a healer means the other DPS characters on the enemy team have to be like 30 to 50% more effective with their weapon. Because if they're equal, the healer on your own team will simply just heal them all the way back up, and they'll never win the fight. That's the key in Overwatch. Impact frags. We've talked about that a lot on this channel recently. Getting those impact frags and focusing down the fight where you want it is what's important. And here's the last example for the video. We're on King's Row, and I find space to get behind them. Obviously, you always can get behind them. You're Winston. Anytime there's a balcony or a window or whatever, you can jump into it and get behind them. Now, we do go down 2 people in this fight, so really we shouldn't be fighting, but I almost want to initiate just to alleviate some pressure off the rest of my team so they don't die. I realize that there's no possible way as Winston that I'm going to be able to pick off this soldier. Soldier's a bad character for Winston to fight because he can just drop down a health pack and you're never going to get him down. But staying alive and keeping my positioning was very important because though they do have man advantage right now, we have all of the positioning, actually. They don't want to be fighting strictly on the point as defense, because now that the rest of my team are able to come, I can just jump in and out however I want and dictate the battle, and it makes them very uncomfortable. Whereas if they have the high ground, they have more options to where they can go and how they can fight. So we're able to split them around. They do ultimate the Reinhardt, which causes them to regain a bunch of space. But again, I'm just simply staying alive. I'm constantly knowing where they are. I get a lot of information for my team, and I'm able to know where they are and call everything out. Anytime the Rein has to be swinging at me and not protecting his team on the front attack is a good thing. Now, his ultimate is a lot of fun. And all the principles we talked about Winston still apply. However, in his ultimate form, he actually can push people where he wants. Not only does he just initiate where he wants, I can put them all into the alleyway, giving my team space to come up. I can say, all of you, there, into a corner you go. You've been naughty. Winston is a lot of fun, guys, and he can be so influential in the game. If you haven't given him his respect, you really need to. I see a lot of times either at lower levels of play or in quick match where there's a lot of squishy DPS picks and not a lot of tanks and healers getting picked. If you learn how to exploit positioning as Winston and you can catch off especially ground-based DPS that just have 200 HP and not a lot of ways to get away, if you find characters like that out in the open away from their team, it's just a free kill for you, making Winston incredibly powerful, incredibly versatile, and a character I definitely suggest you put into your hero pool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this helped take your Winston game to the next level. Please leave me any questions or comments in the comment section below. We love helping you guys out with this stuff, so we do try our best to either respond to the question directly or even make an entire new video dedicated to things you ask us. I should also mention that Liam already did a guide on Winston that you should watch as well. His video was more about how to battle as Winston and which characters to pick off and how to mechanically do it. So with the combination of this initiation guide and Liam's guide, we hope that you can pick up Winston with no problem. His video will be linked in the description and it also is on the end card of this video. But that's been it for me for today. Please like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe. We upload daily Overwatch content. Don't miss any of it. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.